If you're like me, a parent or a guardian who wants to give the best financial start for a child, then this is the video for you. Investing for your child's future can seem somewhat overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. In this video, we'll walk through the simple decisions you can make to identify the best option for investment for your kiddos. I'm going to present a clear and really easy to understand decision tree to guide you through the options for saving and investing for your child's future. I'll explore each of the decision points and give a few examples so you can work out what's right for your family. Now, before we move on, I want to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor. I pulled this matrix, this decision tree together for myself to understand the best route to take, and I'm hoping it might be useful for you so it can improve your life and your financial decisions as well. So firstly, let me explain how the flowchart works. In this bottom right-hand corner, what we've got is the key, where the red areas are marked in questions. The yellow areas are the decisions you make around those questions, usually binary. Then we've got the products or services in blue, which we'll then touch on later, talking about the pros and cons for each in turn. So if we start from the top, the first question being asked is, what is the time horizon that we're working towards? And you can see there's three options. There's short term, 0 to 5 years, medium term, 5 to 18 years, and long term, 18 years plus. Let's imagine we've got a situation where you only want to invest for 0 to 5 years for your child. Clearly a very short period of time. There's two options there. You either got the tax-free growth route or an option for greater flexibility for that child. So for instance, if you want to save up for the child, but it's prior to reaching 18 years of age, then a good option with great flexibility is a junior savings account. However, if you're looking for tax-free growth, we know there's a couple of options available to us. As it's a short time period, and therefore because of concerns around volatility in the market, then one option, of course, is the cash junior ISA. And of course, there is always the option of premium bonds for a child. Both these options offer tax-free growth. Now taking the medium time horizon from 5 to 18 years. First question is, do you want the child to have control at 18 years of age? The concern, of course, here, and often shared on social media, is a child will then go and blow the money on something silly, fast cars or some other frivolous item, rather than sensibly use that money to fund and support activities like perhaps student accommodation, or indeed just continue to save and invest. So the choices are there, yes or no, binary. If we take the no route, where you don't want the child to have control at 18, then the options are more limited. What you're led to more is then investing in your own name, be that in a general investment account, ISA, savings account, premium bonds, gilts, etc., on behalf of your child, but it's in your name and the child doesn't have access to it, and then you gift that investment, the proceeds of that investment, at the point in time when you feel the child is responsible enough. Now that comes with it all of the relevant tax implications when you're gifting money to another. If you're okay the child having access to and control over the money at 18, then there's a number of options that opens up for you. One of the questions then you should ask is, are you looking for higher but uncertain returns? And that will lead you down one of two paths. If you're after higher returns and you're comfortable with the volatility the stock market brings, for instance, then you could go for a stocks and shares junior ISA. However, if you're less comfortable with the volatility of the stock market and want some certainty around the returns, then a cash junior ISA, or indeed premium bonds, are of course another option. They are a lottery. I've done a number of videos on premium bonds, which I'll link above, but fundamentally that is an option to allow for growth. And if you get the average return on premium bonds then and potentially reinvest that, then over time that can be a way of saving for your child. And now we can look at the long term, 18 plus years. Now, of course, that's past the period that they would have control over a junior ISA. The question to ask is, do you want that money locked away until retirement? If the answer is yes, then a great option is a junior self-invested personal pension. The government offers tax relief on contributions, although the contributions are limited, and I'll come on to that later. If the investment for the child is for over 18 years, but you don't want it locked away for retirement, then again, that limits the options available to you, particularly when it comes to tax-advantaged accounts. So we end up investing in our own name on behalf of the child and gifting at the appropriate time. In addition to these, there are other options. I'll touch on those in the next section of the video. So what this flowchart has sought to do is not encapsulate the whole availability of child investment opportunities in the market, but simplify the process around time horizon, around control of the investments, and around the flexibility and the tax advantaged type of accounts that are out there in the market. So why don't we now move into looking at the pros and cons and features of each of the products, those marked in blue on the flowchart, to see which ones might fit your circumstances. And then you can see if it's something you want to invest in on behalf of the children in your life. And you'll see a link to this decision flowchart in the video description. Let's start with a junior ISA. I did create a video with my daughter around the junior ISA, which I'll link above, and that brought out the main features of the junior ISA and also some of the best products on the market currently. In summary, the money grows tax-free, the child can access it at 18, and the contribution limits at the moment are £9,000 a year. You have to be the child's parent or guardian to open the junior ISA, but once it's open, anyone can pay in. There's two types of junior ISAs. The first one is the cash junior ISA. It often offers a guaranteed return, but has lower growth potential. And then you've got the stocks and share junior ISA. It offers higher growth potential, but the value can fluctuate considerably depending on the markets. Touching on the pros for the cash junior ISA, it's low risk. Your child's savings won't lose value, and it is protected by the FSCS, which is the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. Usually, the returns are guaranteed. You'll know exactly how much interest you'll be earning. And of course, the gains are tax-free. Generally, there's limited growth. It means the money's buying power could be lower in the future. And alongside that, of course, is that lower potential returns. Compared to stocks and shares ISAs or junior ISAs, the growth is typically lower. If we then move on to the stocks and share junior ISA, pros are the higher growth potential over a longer term. Stocks and shares tend to outperform cash. And of course, that growth is tax-free because it's within the junior ISA tax wrapper. Stocks and shares junior ISA, though, does have some downsides. There is investment risk, of course. The value of investments can go up and down depending on the market volatility, and it requires longer time horizon. Let's move on to the junior self-invested personal pensions. The junior SIP is a pension specifically for children. It benefits from tax relief, meaning government's top-up contributions. The current annual limit is £3,600, so the parent or guardian can pay a maximum of £2,880, and then the government will top that up with tax relief at 20%, and that makes the £3,600. One of the pros around these is the contributions. Although the parent or guardian needs to open the junior SIP, once it's open, anyone can pay in. And of course, the tax relief, 20% top up from the government boosts contributions. Let's talk about compounding returns. Because the junior SIP is open for such a long time, then there would be significant compounding over time. And of course, it encourages long-term financial planning. It starts your child on the path of a comfortable retirement and possibly early retirement. There are some downsides. The money is clearly inaccessible until retirement age, currently 55, but rising to 57 in 2028. And with that, there's limited control. You can't access the funds to help the child with expenses before retirement. There's a number of junior SIP providers. I'm going to take us to a list now, which is created by Money to the Masses. That's a great place to go to look at the different options available and the costing structures that each provider has. And as we move down the page, you can see some of the pros and cons are also mentioned on this page. But when we get down to the comparison table, you can see the different providers on the left and their fee structure. So the one that really jumps out to me is Fidelity. That offers an excellent fee structure. And if we move on to their site, Fidelity have an excellent tool which estimates the fees that you would pay in your junior ISA. And all you need to do is then click on junior ISA and put in the amounts that you want to invest into the junior ISA. And that will show you over time how much that would cost. I'll put the link to both the Money to the Masses, but also Fidelity's site in the description for the video. Let's move on to junior savings accounts and cover the pros and cons. So what are they? Well, they're regular savings accounts designed for children. They're easy to set up and manage. If you think about the pros, they're accessible. You and your child can access the money at any time. They're good for relatively short-term goals, useful for teaching children about saving and money management. What's not so good about them, potentially they have taxable interest. If the interest earned exceeds the limits, then it may be taxed. And typically there's lower interest rates on the junior savings accounts, often lower than junior ISAs. There is a best buy list of junior savings accounts on moneysavingexpert.com, and I'll include the link to that in the description of the video. And as I look at the comparison table, the ones that jump out the most to me at least are Nationwide Flex One Saver, HSB Savings and Family Building Society. And there's others which you can see when you go to the link. So let's move on to premium bonds and their usage for savings for children. So anyone can buy premium bonds for a child under the age of 16, and they can hold up to £50,000 in that account. If you're not the parent or the guardian of the child, you'll need to let them know before buying premium bonds. And what's good about premium bonds? Well, they're tax-free, they're safe, they're backed by the UK government, and they're relatively easy access. And of course, there's a small chance of a big win. On the downside, the returns are likely to be lower for someone who's got average luck than some of the other accounts that we've discussed. I've created a number of videos around premium bonds. We've got £100,000 invested between my daughter with £50,000 and myself, and we have a competition on a monthly basis to see who wins the most. And you can see the link above. Let's quickly cover the other available options for investing on behalf of your child. One option is to invest in your own name and earmark the funds for your child. This offers flexibility and control, but potentially there are issues when you gift that money or indeed if you die during the period of that investment. And of course, you can do these investments in multiple ways. You can use your ISA, your general investment account, your own savings accounts, premium bonds, etc. Let's touch on a little known option, which is a Friendly Society tax-exempt plan. Many friendly societies have children's versions of their tax-exempt savings plans. Friendly societies are mutual benefit organisations, which means they're owned by the members and for the benefit of the members. You can choose to pay into these plans for between 10 and 25 years. The money is invested in a share-based investment fund for the period that you specify. The maximum you can pay is limited, and you'll see that on the site that I linked to. And on maturity date, the child must be at least 16. As with any share-based investment, the value of these funds can go up as well as down. And of course, the friendly societies will charge for the investments. As long as you continue to pay into the plan for a minimum of 10 years, your child won't pay tax on gains or income. And the contribution is in addition to the annual ISA allowance. And here's one friendly society, the National Friendly, that offers child tax exempt savings plans. I'll put the link in the description of the video. So let's sum up. We've explored different options for investing for your child's future, and there is no one size fits all. You should consider your individual circumstances when assessing and identifying the appropriate product or service for you and your family. And I sincerely hope the decision tree flowchart helps with some of that thinking. And if I was to leave you with one message, the way I see it is the most important thing about investing for your children and for your family is to start investing early.
So do it now.
So don't wait to start building that better financial future for your child. So click on the link in the description below. You can get access to the decision tree flowchart. And don't forget, please like and subscribe to this video. There'll be more content coming out over the coming days and weeks.